और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट।
अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ।
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है।
अरे मेरे राजा,
सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Twisha Sharma. Who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice, for bringing something that's utterly false, illegal or wrong to public attention? It is only and only the media. And today, therefore, we are doing a media trial in this specific case, ladies and gentlemen, of Twisha Sharma. The 33...
The Assam Assembly adopted Uniform Civil Code. We have passed the UCC and fulfilled one of our commitments during the election.
40% Muslim population, UCC passed. Uniform Civil Code in Assam, a national template, debating tonight at 8 p.m.
Presenting by Zoho Business Software, trusted by 15 crore users. Co-powered by IIHM International Institute of Hotel Management.
मैंने जब कहा कि मैं विंबलडन जीत के आऊंगा, मैं ओलंपिक मेडल जीत के आऊंगा, लोग पूछते थे, क्लास टीचर पूछते थे स्कूल में, औकात क्या है? पहला विंबलडन पहुंच के देखा, and I felt that sometimes winning is not about talent. It is about औकात दिखाने का.
Performance leads to recognition. Recognition leads to respect. And respect leads to power. Therefore, if India wants power, it has to perform.
I was not good in mathematics. But in my music, I was using mathematics. All the this is all mathematics.
CBI questions role of Giribala. Trisha family version vindicated. Republic's campaign, arrest Giribala. Debating tonight at 8:30 p.m.
Presenting by Zoho Business Software, trusted by 15 crore users. Co-powered by IIHM International Institute of Hotel Management.
हम और दीदी, हम दोनों को अवार्ड मिलते थे और दूसरी औरत लड़कियां गाती थी, उनको भी अवार्ड मिलना चाहिए. हमने बोला कि हम अवार्ड लेना बंद करेंगे तो अच्छा रहेगा.
We want to do a film as my first film, which is Saransh,
lot of people said, अरे तुम 28, 27 के हो, तुम तो बर्बाद हो जाओगे, पहली फिल्म में बूढ़े का रोल कर रहे हो। मुझे इस बात का एहसास था कि 41 ईयर की उम्र में ये पोस्टर लगा होगा रिपब्लिक के मेरे लेजेंड के प्रोग्राम में।
My always goal was when I started playing for India was one day as a national team and under my captainship during my playing days we want to play World Cup. I want to play World Cup, FIFA World Cup. It didn't happen. I think it will happen because in life nothing is impossible. You need to be positive.
किसने किया है ये जादू, होने लगी हूँ बेकाबू, मैं बनके दीवानी फिरती हूँ, क्यों मैं तो ना जानूं।
CBI says Giribala misused liberty. 7 injuries before she was found dead. Giribala's sister oversaw autopsy. Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Presented by Amity University, ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, growing legacies since 1820. TVS iQube, India's favorite family EV.
जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीस तिहुँ लोक उजागर, रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा।
I think one thing we need to keep reminding people is liberty is not because you have a...
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
On the show tonight, why all of India must celebrate the implementation of the Uniform Civil Code in Assam. Himanta Biswa Sarma does not waste time trying to seek consensus from the Muslim community. He just tells everyone, including the Muslim community, to accept and fall in line with the Uniform Civil Code. At 8:30 p.m., though the Supreme Court says that we should not allow the family of Twisha Sharma to speak, I believe we should and we will give them a chance to speak on my program. And at 9 o'clock tonight, though the Chief Justice of India was very concerned and almost solely concerned about the narrative that a member of the judiciary is being given special treatment, I say, Your Honor, it is not a narrative, it is a reality, it is an absolute fact. Ladies and gentlemen, the great thing is that you do not need to pass the Uniform Civil Code in both houses of parliament for it to become a reality. With the kind of strength that the BJP has, it can one by one implement the Uniform Civil Code in state after state after state after state in India, and that is, there will be no Muslim personal law then. Every Indian citizen will be subject to the Uniform Civil Code. And all the ills of Muslim personal law, all the wrong things that are being done in the name of Muslim personal law will be removed, such as a man marrying 4 wives, polygamy will go, bigamy will go. If you're polygamous, you will be put in jail. This is very good. You cannot get 12, 13, 14-year-old girls married in the name of Muslim personal law. Legal age of marriage for men 21, for women 18. What applies to Hindus, Sikhs will also apply to Muslims. Ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing is things like nikah halala, where 12, 13-year-old girls are forcibly married and sexually abused by 75-year-old Muslim men in the name of marriage, some form of marriage, will all be rendered absolutely illegal. You can no longer get 12, 13-year-old girls married. These kind of things are bad. There will be equal succession rights for sons and daughters and for elderly parents. All these so-called love jihad will come to a stop. Anyone who is trying to do any kind of love jihad will be put, ladies and gentlemen, in jail. And tribals will be exempt. So there's no controversy on that subject either. Now, why is this so important? It is important because of the political resolve of the BJP and the determination of the re-elected Himanta Biswa Sarma, the Chief Minister of Assam, to, if necessary, push this down the throat of people who don't like it. Himanta Biswa Sarma says the Muslim population in Assam is around 40%. Even if it isn't, it is true that more than 1 out of every 3 people in Assam is Muslim. So when you implement the Uniform Civil Code in Assam, you're basically saying to the very large Muslim population that in India, they cannot have their own personal laws. Everybody is equal in India. This kind of statement requires resolve. Now, this is truly upholding secularism, gender justice, national integration, and laws for all citizens. There are a lot of people who have said that if the Uniform Civil Code is applied, then all hell will break loose. Well, has all hell broken loose in Assam? Absolutely not. People are happy. And there are some Muslims who are unhappy. To them, I would only say 3 words. If you're unhappy with the Uniform Civil Code, deal with it. There is no looking back. One nation, one law. No more special laws. Let's debate.
I am very happy to inform you that Assam Assembly has adopted Uniform Civil Code 2026. Assam will be the 3rd state after Uttarakhand and Gujarat to adopt Uniform Civil Code.
Assam is now the 4th state in India to pass the Uniform Civil Code Bill. After Gujarat, Goa and Uttarakhand, Assam now passes this integral bill. Speaking previously to our Editor-in-Chief Arnab Goswami, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma explained the various demographic challenges during the elections.
Compare that village, the day when your parents were in the school and today, it has completely become a minority-dominated area.
Completely.
You can feel the pain.
Yes.
And these minority Muslims are not from our land.
Yes.
They have came from across the border in different region.
Yes.
People laughed at me when I say that in the next census, whenever the figures will come out, Assam Muslim population will be 40%. Now they say, no, you are trying to harvest political things. These are statistical representation of fact.
Despite the challenge of demography, with 40% Muslims in the state, the Assam legislature has successfully passed the UCC bill that now awaits the president's assent. The bill bans polygamy, makes registration of live-in relationships compulsory, and seeks a common legal framework for marriage, divorce, succession, and inheritance. BJP's message is simple: one constitution, one law, and Assam has now become the first state in the northeast to cross that line. The big question now is, when Muslims can live with a common code in France and more evolved personal law in Islamic Turkey, why object in India? And the bigger question, is Bengal next in line for the UCC bill?
And ladies and gentlemen, I began by saying that unfortunately for people who oppose the Uniform Civil Code, they don't have a choice anymore, Rohan. It is very sad for them because they are against the Uniform Civil Code and they think they will go to the streets and blackmail people, but they don't have a choice. They have to fall in line. This is the reality. All hardliners will have to soften their line. They will have to fall in line. Rohan, is this a strategy by the BJP to get this implemented? Uttarakhand, Assam, Gujarat, and earlier Goa. Why don't you in one shot get it implemented in all the 22 plus states where you are in power? Why don't we have that?
I think it's a very fair question, and I'll go back to 1948 when the UCC, which is part of Article 44 in the Directive Principle, and on 23rd November 1948, it was introduced in the debate regarding UCC. The arguments were made, and Muslim members, they moved amendments to keep personal laws out of its scope.
Yes.
And one of the drafting committee members defended the provisions and argued that the Uniform Civil Code was important to uphold the unity of the country and the constitutional secular credentials. The members reminded that Muslim members that this was not a provision that would affect the Muslim community alone. Even the Hindu community would be affected. They further added that the women's right could never be secured without Uniform Civil Code. This is verbatim. I am reading from the debate of constitutional uniform, and this was the opposition even then. And the same is getting repeated. When something is part of our constitution, and you are the people who are holding the copy of constitution in hand and doing politics in name of, securing the constitution, and then you are opposing UCC, then don't you feel that you are opposing constitution? You have to respect our people who have drafted the constitution. You are naming Baba Sahib Ambedkar, doing politics in name of Baba Sahib Ambedkar, and today you are insulting him by opposing UCC. And one more thing, good question, Arnab, that why we don't introduce nationally. Obviously, when these drafts are studied by the people who are opposing it, I am challenging that let them bring out one provision which is against Muslim community. Because they are playing this politics of, appeasement just to ensure that vote bank is protected.
No,
this
but
is same,
all this
like
is good, but my only complaint is, and Subbuhi probably agrees with me, why do this in slow motion? Why do one state, then 5 months, do it in one go, If I believe you must just implement it everywhere in the country and push it down the throat of people who are opposing it. Push it down their throats. Like they have pushed Nikah Halala down the throats of 13-year-old girls who they get married off to 80-year-old shameless men in the name of marriage. And you question them, they say, oh, it is our Muslim personal law. It is our right to get 13-year-old women married to 75-year-old men. Right? It is our right to have polygamy, bigamy, love jihad. I think BJP is being too slow about this. Subbuhi, what do you think? Time to just ram it in, Why Assam? Have it everywhere in India.
Yeah. Arnab, my screen is freezed. Am I audible to you?
You are audible, visible. Your screen is not frozen on air. Please continue.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for having me, Arnab, on such an important issue. I have been working on spreading awareness about UCC for many years now. And I agree to your point that we should push it down the throat of the nation because it is not a political decision, but it is a constitutional mandate. And it has been done long before. But as an officer of the court, Arnab, I also want to make one point here that there are demographical challenges, issues, and there are problems which makes it difficult for the state to make a central act or a central law in terms of uniform civil code. But as a lawyer, I believe that I think it is possible to make one uniform civil code, one common law as per the constitutional mandates, and we can exclude tribals. We can exclude tribals from UCC so that it would be easier for us to implement it in all the states at once. I congratulate Mr. Biswa, Sarma and the state of Assam for having this finally. And they may be the fourth state after Uttarakhand, Gujarat and Goa. Assam is the fourth state for having UCC. But in Northeast, Assam is the first state. And I want to reiterate a fact which I have repeated on your debates many a times, Arnab, that why it is of such an urgent nature, why it is of utmost importance to have it, right now. No more wait should be there, because it is a matter of national integration, as you rightly said, and also gender justice. I have given so many examples of crimes which were happening in the garb of personal laws. They have been violating Indian Penal Code. Now the name is changed, but the sections are changed, but the content is same. So I'm still saying Indian Penal Code. Bigamy, polygamy was prohibited for all Indians, but Muslim men were allowed to do that. Domestic Violence Act, which prohibits physical, emotional, sexual, economic, verbal, psychological, all kinds of violence against women. Quasi criminal proceedings होती हैं ना. But एक मुसलमान महिला के साथ ये सारी violence हो जाती थी. वो अगर पुलिस स्टेशन जाती थी तो उसको बोला जाता था कि no, you are covered under Sharia law, so we cannot give you the protection of Domestic Violence Act. And one worst example which I gave first time on your show only, Arnab, violation of POCSO Act. 12 साल की बच्चियों के साथ निकाह in the name of consent, in the name of personal law. Yeah. It is clear-cut violation of criminal law. It is no more personal law anymore.
I think that was the most important point.
कि for women protection, for gender justice, for national integration, इन सभी चीजों के लिए अब बहुत हो गया. आई थिंक सरकार को कुछ कमिटीज बना के ट्राइबल एरियाज को एक्सक्लूड करके यूसीसी को आई थिंक थ्रू आउट द नेशन अब लागू कर देना चाहिए, बिकॉज स्टेट वाइज अगर हम चलेंगे तो बहुत टाइम लगेगा.
नाउ व्हाई डू सम मुस्लिम्स सपोर्ट चाइल्ड मैरिज? It's a very serious and straightforward question.
Very good question.
Why do they support child marriage? A, would this support to child marriage apply to the marriage of their own children? Would the people who support child marriage theoretically, saying it is a Muslim right, the Sharia allows us to get 12-year-old, 13-year-old and 14-year-old, 15-year-old girls married. Would they do this to young girls of their own family? Now they look very shell-shocked when I ask this question, because they are saying, how is Arnab being so direct? Because I am direct. Because these are the things that happen. Child marriage is there, it's a reality. And Muslim men can force the marriage of young children to very old men, saying that it is a religious right. How is it a religious right? How is it a religious right to get young children forced into marriage? Does a 13-year-old girl, who is very often married under Muslim personal law, does she have a right to say no? Does she have a right to say no? No, she doesn't have a right. Which means, Rohan, that people like Atikur Rahman, they believe that 13-year-old girls are meant to be sexually exploited. 14-year-old girls are meant to be sexually exploited. They have no right, which means they have to be sexually exploited and they have to be raped in the name of marriage. And if you question them, Rohan, they'll say that you are a right-winger. Why are you a supporter of child marriage, Atikur Rahman, right? Sheikh Hamir, Sheikh?
Arnab, please don't say child marriage. Say violation of POCSO Act.
Yeah, why anybody else committing a sexual act on a 13-year-old against her will would be accused of rape under the POCSO Act, and it's a non-bailable offense. But you people, you support it, you say it's okay, it's allowed. Now you look down, you'll try to avoid, Sheikh? It's such a straight question. I asked you 4 times.
Or no, child marriage, when you're talking about child marriage is not legally permissible in the Indian constitution. As per the Indian law,
as per
it's
your
not
Muslim
permissible.
personal law,
This bill,
as per your Muslim personal law, as per your Muslim personal law, is it allowed?
Arnab, when you're talking about
as per your Muslim personal law, answer Subuhi, is it allowed?
Arnab, we are talking about the Indian constitution.
I'm talking about your Muslim personal law. Does it allow the marriage of a 14-year-old girl?
We are not against the
No,
reform.
as per your Muslim personal law, is it allowed?
As per Muslim personal law, the reforms have been done.
So it's done, it happens.
No.
The answer is clear. What are these windows being made? 1 second.
No, you are talking about, Arnab,
Why do you allow it? Why do you allow the marriage of 13, 14-year-old
What is
girls?
the uniformity in this Uniform Civil Code? Directive Principles of State Policy talks about the Uniform Civil Code. And the government...
No, 1 minute. Yes, it talks. I am asking you.
We all know these things.
Why do you want 12, 13-year-old
You know nothing.
girls to be married?
This is a select...
Very often a 13-year-old girl becomes the fourth wife.
Nothing. Every law
Fourth wife of a 70-year-old.
Parliament right now, or by any particular assembly ruled by the Bharatiya Janata Party, it's a selective approach against a particular community, against a particular people who belong to a particular religion. Why scheduled tribes have been
Which particular religion? You mean Muslims?
Why have been Muslims kept out of this bill?
Arnab, let me give you one more example. As per Sharia
Child
law,
marriage happening
mother
in
is
Hindus as
not
well.
the natural guardian of her own child. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
किस लेवल का अब्यूज, किस लेवल की जो है स्टूपिडिटी होती है, किस लेवल की अनपढ़पंती होती है एक मुसलमान महिला जो बच्चे को अपने पेट में रखती है, 9 महीने कोख में रखती है. एज पर शरिया लॉ, शी इज नॉट द नेचुरल गार्जियन ऑफ हर ओन चाइल्ड. In case of husband's death, either chacha, tau, dada,
Listen to me. Stop targeting Muslims like this. Don't use such language against the Muslim women. Don't
Child marriage in Hindus is wrong.
This is as per
Ma'am, there are many tribes in India. There are many tribes in India. Let me inform you. Let me give you some information, some knowledge to you.
You cannot bring religion here. Child marriage is wrong in any religion. You cannot defend
What about that? What about that?
प्यूबर्टी पे पहुंच जाती हैं.
आप कैसे
12 साल की बच्चियों के साथ निकाह को जायज बोलते हैं अमेरिकन शरिया लॉ.
This is the purpose of UCC, that we have to ensure that these kind of things are not there. How can you justify child marriage whether it is Hindu or Muslim? Why are you making Hindu-Muslim issue?
Nobody is justifying
Whoever
child marriage.
it is wrong is wrong.
It is you.
Then why are you
justifying?
why are you saying that it is happening in Hindu? So you are justifying
Marriageable
child
age is
marriage.
above 18.
You want to
Nobody
tell
is
that
justifying.
because if it is done in Hindus, it is justified?
It's
No.
happening in Hindus. It's
When
happening
you say
in
that it
Muslims.
as
We
per
are not against
constitution
the
is wrong,
reforms.
why it should
We
be
are
part of
not
Muslim
against the
personal law?
reforms.
It should not be
We are
part
not-
of that. People shouldn't speak in favor of it. There are certain wrongdoing which is there in any religion. If you see Hindu religion, there was something called Shati Pratha. It was completely wrong. And then it was completely stopped. So when there is an improvement, where as a country we have to grow together, and there are certain wrong things in the religious things, if we correct that together, why are you making it Hindu-Muslim? My simple question is that something wrong is wrong, whether it is Hindu, Muslim, anything. We have to welcome this.
Who is making it Hindu versus Muslim? It is no. Let me tell you, Mr. BJP. Let me tell you, it's not about. We are not making it Hindu Muslim. We are not making it Hindu Muslim.
India is India. India is driven by constitution. This is the message, or this is the narrative of opposition.
Look, who is talking about the constitution? Do you people follow constitution?
No,
Do you have any idea?
I think enough of an opportunity has been provided through public debate, Sheikh. Sheikh.
Do you have any idea what the preamble of the constitution says? What is secularism?
1 minute, Sheikh. Enough of an opportunity has been provided through public debate in this country for certain sections of Islamic law to reform themselves. You could have, if you wanted, said that we will stop child marriage. But you say that having children married is your right. You could have stopped nikah halala. No, you said sexual exploitation of teenage girls by 75-year-old Muslim men is allowed. You could have stopped triple talaq. You said no, we have to be able to throw out a woman throw out a woman from our house by saying triple talaq, talaq, talaq 3 times. You could have said, we will stop polygamy. You said, no, we must have 4 wives each. My question is, you have not reformed. You have been opposed to reform. You are anti-reform. You are being medieval in your point of view. And now you will have to change. Atikur Rahman, you will have to change. Since you have not wanted to change, you will be forced to change. The only way now is to force people like you to change.
Code is right to principles of state policy, but you don't talk about the fundamental rights guaranteed by the Indian Constitution.
I will talk about the directive principles. You admit that you are avoiding what is in the Constitution.
Nobody is avoiding. Nobody is avoiding.
Yeah, you are avoiding it.
Nobody is avoiding. You are talking about uniform. Is there any uniformity when you are already respecting that there is a diversity, keeping scheduled tribes out of this uniform civil code? Then you are only targeting Muslims. Child marriage is happening only in Muslims? No. There is already law.
But you are rationalizing it, Rohan.
Yes.
Child marriage may happen outside in other communities too. But in the Muslim community, if it happens, it is justified. Subhohi, you want to add?
Every debate is regarding Muslim, and Muslim.
He should say that he is against any kind of child marriage. That's what I told Arnab.
We are celebrating Eid today. What is happening throughout India, especially in UP, MP, Assam, Bengal? What you people are doing there?
What is you people?
You have made this country hell. You have made this country hell for Muslims.
Who is you people? Who is you people?
What do you mean by you people?
Who is you people?
You people carrying the ideology, the fascist ideology.
Are you not in India? You are not Indian. This is the problem with you people. You are part of India. You are Indian.
No, it's not your India.
Are you Indian?
More important than the
Are you an Indian?
This is the basic problem.
Are you an Indian? Do you carry an Indian passport? Do you have any loyalty to your country?
Like Nazis.
Do you have loyalty to your country? What do you mean, you people?
You are behaving like Nazis.
What do you mean, you people?
These kind of
what
people,
do you mean, you people?
Are you calling the debate?
You are not
what do you mean by you people?
We are not working in the interest of nation.
Why did you say you people?
Working in your own personal interests. Trying to satisfy yourself.
This is the reality of these people, Arnab. This is the reality of these people. That's why people don't trust this kind of people.
What do you mean by these people?
What do you mean by you people? You are justifying it. You have to put country first, my friend, not the religion. You must understand.
What country first? What country first?
By constitution.
What country? You will lynch Muslims. You will lynch Muslims. You will lynch Muslims. I'll say about
Congress party representative says what country first. Please watch. Shubhi, did you see that? A Congress party representative on my program says what country first. Well, my country, Bharat. Be proud that you are a Bharatiya. भारतीय नागरिक है आप. भारत के पासपोर्ट को लेके घूम रहे हैं.
अरे भारत के लोगों के
संभल के बात करिए. व्हाट कंट्री फर्स्ट?
भारत की बात करते हो. भारत की
पाकिस्तानी नहीं हो आप.
लोगों के खिलाफ बात करते हो.
पाकिस्तान की पासपोर्ट नहीं है आपकी. आपकी क्या पाकिस्तानी पासपोर्ट है? Do you carry a Pakistani passport?
You are criminals.
Do you carry a Pakistani passport that you say what people, what country?
Don't challenge me. I am Indian. This is enough. Enough is enough.
Why did you say
every morning, in every debate, every prime time, you are only discussing about
because you're getting worked up when I say there will be no child marriage. Why do you want children to be married? I just answer the question. So we ask him the question. What satisfaction does he get by seeing a 13-year-old Muslim girl forcibly married?
Mr. Sheikh,
we're getting under his skin, and we're going to get more under his skin now.
Child marriages are child marriages happening only in Muslims? No, absolutely not. Hindus में भी child marriages अगर होती हैं, तो वो चाइल्ड मैरिज एक्ट के अंतर्गत कोई भी कंप्लेंट करता है उसको मान लेते हैं, उसको क्राइम मानते हैं, या फिर कई बार शादी करते हैं. तो इस तरह से होता है कि जब बड़े होंगे तब रुखसती होगी, तब वो शादी कंज्यूमेट होती है. व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट मिस्यार निकाह? मुसलमानों में चाइल्ड मैरिज को भी नाम नहीं दूंगी मैं, उसको वायलेशन ऑफ पॉक्सो एक्ट बोलूंगी, क्योंकि वो शादियां भी नहीं होती हैं, उन बच्चियों को रखा भी नहीं जाता है अपने साथ. What are your views about मिस्यार निकाह?
If we start debating about what is happening if we start debating, madam, if we start debating what's happening in Hindu religion, what Hindus are doing, we don't want to debate that.
Time passes,
we don't want to
the
debate
marriage
that.
expires. The validity of marriage ends. No closure, no maintenance, no divorce and no marriage. Only rape. Only violation of POXO Act. In the name of misyar
Atikur hasn't said anything.
And you are calling it rape.
Because he has nothing to say.
When Muslims are marrying, you are calling it rape. How unfortunate. And you are being allowed to talk. You are being allowed to talk.
And accept the fault and rectify the problems. If you have no guts and moral courage to do that, At least do some Google online and research. मिस्यार निकाह तो सिर्फ मुसलमानों में होता है मेरे भाई.
मेरी बहन जहाँ होता है उनसे पूछिए.
कैसे कर सकते हैं आप? चाइल्ड मैरिज नहीं बोलूंगी.
Let me tell you, madam. There are. Let me inform you something. Let me tell you something. There are so many tribes in India. There is one tribe in India where the granddaughter marries her grandfather. What about that? What about that?
This uniform civil code does not apply to tribal communities.
Do you know about marriage by probation?
Antico Rahman, I'll give you a word in right now because you're a supporter of polygamy. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Do you know marriage
Thank you,
by
Arnab, for uniform civil code.
Why scheduled tribes are kept out of uniform civil code in the Assam bill?
A uniform civil code based on gender justice and gender equality shall be a welcome step. A uniform civil code should be coming from the parliament. Different states passing a different law is not uniform. Uttarakhand uniform civil code being challenged and the High Court is questioning. So the BJP is silent on that part. Why has the Uttarakhand bill been challenged in the court and the High Court has certain questions? Why are you asking the intervention of the parents when the two adults want to have a married life? Why is there an intervention of the parental control? These are many questions which is not based on gender justice and gender equality. And how can we expect this from BJP, which is deeply rooted as a misogynist and patriarchal RSS-led government? They are having rapists in their parties. The Prime Minister roams with rapist people in the parliament. How can we expect a gender justice and gender equality based UCC from such a party? So you have to come clean on it, sir.
Are you with constitution or against constitution?
Look here and then, you just ask me, answer the questions of the Uttarakhand High Court. The Uttarakhand High Court have asked questions from the government of Uttarakhand that why the parental control on adult lives. You are unable to answer, sir.
No. You don't mislead. I'll answer this. Now, the basic issue is the way he started that, okay, UCC with this is welcome. The first of all, you people have to agree whether you are against the idea of UCC or you are with the idea of UCC. That is my question number one. Question number two, if you are against the idea of UCC, don't you feel that you are against the constitution of the country? That is point number two. Point number three, UCC is now implemented in 3 states. I want one, provision where it is against Islam or against Muslims specifically. You are just, the debate is that this UCC is against particular community. Yes, UCC might have pluses and minuses. I'm not denying. You definitely have few suggestions. It can improve UCC. That's all fine. But the narrative which is made by you people that UCC is against minority community, I want evidence of that. Now you have 3 states. Just read the draft, read the final draft and see. Come out with the national debate that yes, these are the points which are against the Muslims. Everybody will be with you, your community, but don't mislead. The same thing you did in Waqf Board. Waqf Board was administrative board. It is not there in Islamic countries. The Waqf Board Amendment Act was to ensure that the misuse of the Waqf Board property by the bodies is stopped.
One very important point. One of the reasons why chauvinistic Muslims...
Can you tell me?
Sheikh, 1 minute. Sheikh, don't do it. Chauvinistic Muslims, anti-women, men who are Muslims... Misogynistic Muslims... They don't want Muslim women to get their fair share of property. The real issue, which nobody wants to talk about, is about property. Muslim men would want to deny Muslim women a right to succession. Himanta Biswa Sarma says we have to modernize succession so that daughters and sons get their fair share. Right? Now, OAC says that the UCC allows daughters to be denied their fair share. It applies to cases only where the person writes a will. What he does not say is that the right to write a will and distribute your own property as you choose is a fundamental right that exists in every democracy. The Uniform Civil Code does not create that right. It already exists. What the Uniform Civil Code does, Sheikh, and is to protect daughters when there is no will through an equal distribution framework. Now, many Indians do not write their will. What happens in those cases? Daughters do not get a single rupee in terms of inheritance. Chauvinistic Muslim men are very happy with that because they do not want women to get any fair share of property rights. But they want to sexually exploit 13-year-old girls by making them the fourth wife of a 70-year-old man. And then they want to commoditize women by getting a 12-year-old girl married to an 80-year-old man in the form of nikah halala and say it is our right to exploit that girl.
Whatever narrative.
And if you ask any questions about it, we will say you're anti-Muslim. No, sir, you're anti-humanity, Sheikh. You're anti-humanity, and only I will tell you that on your face.
Or the Parliament of
on
India,
your face.
which goes against our Quran.
It doesn't go.
Or Sharia based on the Quran. Will not accept that. Whatever may be the case, will not accept.
You have no choice right now. You
No,
fall
will not
in
accept.
line.
It's not about choice. Just because you people are ruling like anything, you have become
What do you
fascist
mean
and Nazis,
ruling like anything?
will not accept
Explain
anything
the
that
word
goes
ruling
against
like
the Quran
anything.
Or any law based on the Quran.
Okay,
will
one
not
minute.
accept that. Will fight, will challenge
which?
it, will fight
Okay,
it
since you talk about the directive
peacefully, will fight
principles of
against
state policy, may I ask you which article of the Constitution asks for a uniform civil code? You tell me.
It's in the directive principles of state policy.
Which article, Baba? You're a lawyer.
All these should be Article 40 or something. I'm
It's
not sure.
Article
But it should be
44, not Article 40 or something.
44, yes.
Yeah. And does Article 44 carry constitutional status imposing a duty on the state while making the laws?
No, these
No,
principles
what do you
should be
mean
kept in
no?
mind while framing
What do you
policy.
mean
That's
no?
directive
What do you mean no?
principles of state policy
Was this
are.
passed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constitution of India? Did he strongly support a uniform civil code?
Are you teaching me about directive principles of state
I am
policy?
teaching you. I am teaching you because you need to be taught.
Are you? No, directive
Because you are
principles
an illiterate man.
As per the Constitution, directive principles
And because
of
you
state
abused
policy,
my country on the program
they completely
today.
differ with the fundamental rights. You are mixing these two. While framing the policies, the legislators should keep these principles in the mind while framing the policies. It's not constitutionally. You are not bound.
I've cornered you. By the way, Ambedkar
It is the
said,
duty of the state. It is clearly mentioned. And it is also mentioned that uniform
directive
civil
principle
code
that you are
cannot
supposed
be
to implement it.
enforceable by any court of law. That means only an elected government can have it. Only an elected government can implement it.
What are you
Only an
talking
elected
about?
government
What are
has
you
the
talking about?
duty
So
to
who
pass
said-
this law in the favor of citizens, 140 crore people, to have a common law, to have
140
gender
crore people.
justice for everyone, irrespective of their caste, creed, and religion.
And can I tell you, Sheikh,
Irrespective. Is it irrespective?
since you know nothing,
Mandate of
I'll tell you one more thing about history. Sheikh, one minute, Sheikh, don't keep moving your hand like this. Rohan, there were two committees. One minute. There were two committees which recommended uniform civil code twice before the independence of India. First was in 1925 and the second was in 1937. And Rohan, do you know who the head of those two committees was? It was one man. You know which man it was who said we must have a uniform civil code, Rohan? It was Motilal Nehru's son, Jawaharlal Nehru. Now he has nothing to say, Rohan.
Look at his expression.
Look at his expression.
Either you are with the
He
Constitution.
will include
or
Jawaharlal
against the
Nehru also, you
Constitution. When
people.
you fail, you
Then he
start-
addressed us as a you people.
You
So
stop
now
talking
Jawaharlal
against
Nehru is
those
also
people
in
who
that
framed
you
the
people.
Constitution.
I will state, Arnab, I'll just state this Article 44 states that the state shall, I'm using word shall, you know what is the difference between shall and will. The state shall endeavor to secure for the citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. These
So
are
shall.
the specific words
So shall.
which are mentioned. Shall.
What does shall
the
mean?
state shall.
What does shall
What
mean?
does that mean? You
Shall
tell
mean.
me.
It's not will.
You tell me.
It's not will. It's not
Are you-
mandatory.
What
It's
is
not
it talking?
mandatory. It's not mandatory.
Arnab, I don't
It's
know
not
what kind of
mandatory.
people you are calling in the debate.
I'm shocked.
You just
I'm-
go. I
So
am
you are
shocked.
yourself
What are you
saying it's
talking?
not will, it's shall.
What are you talking? What are you talking? Just go to the directive principles, and Article 37 says, even if directive principles this thing. Nevertheless, the fundamentals, the governance, fundamental in the governance of the country. So directive principles are the fundamental in the governance
Rohan,
of the
the writing
country.
is on the wall. The writing is on the wall.
I don't know what
and
to say.
I
because
think the
you're
great thing
confused.
about
You
what
don't know
happened in
you're talking
Assam
about.
today is that
You have
it
to
leaves
differentiate between
everyone,
fundamentals
including the
and
Muslim
fundamental right.
population in
Yeah,
Assam, with
fundamental
no
in the
choice
governance
but to
of the country. I
comply.
accept that.
Now, viewers, I have no intention to oppose the Supreme Court of India. But I disagree with the view of the Supreme Court that the family members of Twisha Sharma should be gagged. And since the Honorable Supreme Court has not technically forced me to gag them, but only put out an advisory that the family members of Twisha Sharma should not be spoken to or should not be interviewed, since they have not forced me to do it, I will continue to interview and speak to members of Twisha Sharma's family. And that is why I have called her brother today on the program, Major Harshit. He is also a serving Indian Army officer. And I'm putting Major Harshit on air, and I will take Twisha's father also on air, because with the greatest of respect to the Supreme Court, this whole idea of the Chief Justice of India, Justice Suryakant, that the family members speaking will be creating a narrative is completely wrong and completely unacceptable. Well, Major Harshit, thanks for joining us. Before I come to a quick report on what has happened, the Jabalpur High Court has laid open completely Giribala, the ex-judge's manipulation in the Twisha Sharma case. Today's arguments, which we are reporting on now, have pinned the blame of the misuse of power and position on this dangerous ex-judge, Giribala Singh. Let's debate.
Heated arguments, sharp exchanges, and explosive claims inside Jabalpur High Court today. The Twisha Sharma case took another dramatic turn. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, appearing before the court, argued that relief to Giribala Singh was granted in a hurried manner.
सर, मैं जानता हूँ आप ज़्यादा बात नहीं कर पाएंगे इस केस के बारे में, लेकिन अभी आज की हियरिंग के बाद आपकी कैसी अपेक्षा है कोर्ट से कि क्या ऑर्डर पास करें?
देखिए, हमारी तो पॉजिटिव ही रहेगी। हम अपने सर पॉजिटिव ही देखते हैं हम हर चीज़ को।
He further argued that the accused was wielding power in the institution and claimed repeated press conferences by Giribala Singh had the potential to influence witnesses connected to the case. In a significant argument, SG Tushar Mehta told the court that Giribala was granted anticipatory bail even before the FIR was registered. Not just that, the Solicitor General also pointed at possible tampering of evidence, as the scene of offence was only sealed after granting of anticipatory bail. Senior advocate Siddharth Luthra, appearing for Twisha Sharma's family, also raised strong objections. During the hearing, senior advocate Siddharth Luthra argued that the Bhopal court order granting anticipatory bail to Giribala was premature, passed without her joining the investigation even for a single day. In a major claim before the High Court, the Madhya Pradesh government said injuries found on Twisha Sharma's body were antemortem in nature and could have been caused during a struggle or scuffle.
गिरिबाला सिंह की जो एंटिसिपेटरी बेल हुई थी, उसके खिलाफ दो तरह से चैलेंज किया गया था। एक त्विषा के परिवार की ओर से पिटीशन लगाई गई थी और एक शासन की ओर से पिटीशन लगाई गई थी। चूंकि सीबीआई ने मैटर टेक ओवर कर लिया है, इसलिए आज सीबीआई की तरफ से ये दरखास्त आई थी कि अब मैटर उसके पास है, इसलिए जो शासन की तरफ से पिटीशन लगी थी उसमें सीबीआई का नाम अब शासन के साथ आ गया है।
The claim has now added a new dimension to the case. The central agency also raised questions over the presence of Giribala Singh's sister during the post-mortem and wants to investigate whether the process was influenced in any manner. Republic TV's relentless coverage has exposed multiple lapses, raising questions on how the former judge was given bail on death of a daughter-in-law. Now all eyes are on the court's order in the case that the nation has its eyes on.
Major Harshit, your first comment on what has been happening in the courtroom today, because a lot of details have now come out about how your sister was possibly severely assaulted before she died. Your comments on the fresh information that is coming out and the way the case is moving now, with the CBI stepping in. Can you unmute yourself, Harshit? Can't hear you. I can't hear you. I wish your audio was checked before we went live. Can you speak to me? No, I cannot speak to you. The production team tells me that I should be hearing you, but trust me, I can't. Very difficult to do this without an audio line. We'll fix the audio. I've been asked by the production team to give them 10 seconds to fix the audio. I don't know how they will do this in 10 seconds. I can't hear you at all. But I will continue speaking till then, and I'll keep reporting on what has happened while my production team gets its act together. No, sir. This is very unfortunate. Ladies and gentlemen, while we fix this, and this is absolutely embarrassing, I just want to point out here that Giribala Singh, retired judge, secured anticipatory bail on 15th May 2026. Today, the case is going on in the Jabalpur High Court. We expect that anticipatory bail to be cancelled. Now, many senior advocates have got into this case. Senior advocate Siddharth Luthra called the decision to give Giribala Singh anticipatory bail as a rash order which has been granted without any meaningful investigation. And the general opinion of the people is this, that it is because Giribala has a judicial background, that she is an ex-judge, that she is given this kind of swift relief which would never be given to any other ordinary accused. And I am shocked and surprised that the Honorable Chief Justice of India, who we look up to deliver justice, was more concerned about a narrative being set against the judiciary. That is where I believe the Honorable Chief Justice of India has made a terrible mistake. Because the Honorable Chief Justice of India should be considering the fact that this judge filed the bail plea even before the police registered the FIR, which means the police did not do any meaningful investigation and the bail was given. Major Harshit, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Major Harshit, a lot of people are calling in to you. If you want to speak to Major Harshit, you can call in now. He's fighting for his sister. He must never be alone in this. And while we do that, I can show that on the camera. Please show the camera. We have Harshit's father, Twisha's father, walking in right now. This is the first time that I'm meeting him. Camera 2 can show him sitting in. Please, sir. Welcome. Please sit. Camera 2. Yes. That's Major Harshit's father, Twisha's father, Navnidhi Sharma, who is being mic'd up, sitting to my right this evening. The bottom grid should change. Speak to Twisha Sharma's family, it should say. And call Twisha Sharma's father and brother should be what we should put on the grid out there. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you, Navnidhi Sharma, for coming.
Thank you.
पहली बात तो ये है कि एक तरह से गैग ऑर्डर है आप पर. गैग ऑर्डर है, यानी कि आपको बोला गया है कि आपको कुछ बोलना नहीं चाहिए.
सर.
ये कैसी सिचुएशन है? एक पिता को कोर्ट कह रही है कि अपने बेटी के मृत्यु के बारे में चुप रहे. इस पर तो आप बोल सकते हैं कि व्हाट इज योर फैमिली गोइंग थ्रू बिकॉज ऑफ दिस?
सर, हमारा घर जहाँ हम रहते हैं सर, वो बेटी ने ही बनाया था पूरा. और हमारे लिए भोपाल में लड़ाई लड़ना, फिर भी हम वहाँ मर रहे थे, पर यहाँ आकर के वो हाउंटिंग हो गया हमारे लिए. एक एक चीज़ मेमोरी हमारे को एकदम रिवाइव होके आ गई है. मैं और मेरी वाइफ के लिए बहुत डिफ़िकल्ट हो जाएगा. उसने अपना रूम बनाया था, बहुत लव करती थी उससे. बाथरूम्स बनाए थे उसने अपने पेंटिंग्स थी उसकी, शी वॉज मल्टी टैलेंटेड गर्ल सर। वो पूरा अपना क्रिएटिविटी में पूरा प्लांट्स थे उसके। तो उस घर में जब अभी आए हैं सर, अभी तो एकदम जो है एक शॉक वेव टाइप लगी हुई है सर घर में सारा दिमाग।
कितने दिनों बाद आप आए अपने घर में?
सर ये मेरे को महीने हो गया सर ऑलमोस्ट। हम लोग नसीराबाद चले गए थे, नसीराबाद से फिर हम लोग ये 15 दिन भोपाल चले गए सर, और अभी वापस आए।
12 तारीख आप कहाँ थे? Where were you on the 12th?
नसीराबाद में थे सर।
You were speaking to your daughter when this happened?
Yeah, I was speaking regularly, बात हो रही थी सर।
Can you tell me about the last phone call that you made to your daughter? When was that last phone call?
Last 9:41 पर करीब मेरी बात हुई है उससे। 9:41 लास्ट कॉल हुई है उससे।
9:41 PM on 12th.
हाँ 12th।
क्या बात हुई आपकी? पूरी just explain everything. And while this is on live, I wish to tell the people on the desk to change the grid. Yes. And I wish to tell the production and desk team to put the calls in through to me and put the names on camera 4, please. Thank you very much. Yes, आप बताइए 9:41 PM को कौन-कौन थे लाइंस पर आपके साथ? सिर्फ आप थे और तुषा थी?
हाँ, मेरे को अलग से कॉल किया था, सेपरेट कॉल।
She called you that day?
करती रहती थी कॉल, हमेशा रेगुलर कॉल।
What happened that day? That was the last phone call.
हाँ, लास्ट कॉल पर थोड़ा सा ऐसा लग रहा था, घबराई हुई सी लग रही थी। मैंने कहा क्या हुआ, तो थोड़ा रो रही थी।
She called you?
हाँ, she called me, और 2 मिनट ही उसने मतलब बात की।
क्या
बोला कि पापा कुछ ठीक नहीं है यहाँ पर, कुछ ठीक नहीं है। मैंने कहा आई एम कमिंग। मैंने इतना ही बोला कि फोन, उसने कहा कि मैं आई विल कॉल मम्मी को बात करती हूँ।
She said she will call back.
हाँ, she will call back, but
did she mention anything about her husband being there?
नहीं, उतनी बात ही नहीं हो पाई ना। उसने मम्मी से फिर ज़्यादा बात करती थी वो।
उसके बाद
हाँ।
You handed the phone to your wife?
मम्मी को अलग से कॉल किया, सेपरेट कॉल करती थी। उसका मम्मी से क्या, लड़कियों का मम्मी से ज़्यादा कन्वर्सेशन रहता है, मेरे से टू द पॉइंट रहता था।
तो she called your wife that day, that evening?
हाँ, कॉल किया।
What time?
उसका बात चली है करीब 10:05 तक उसकी बात चली है, 10 बजे तक बात चली है उसके बाद।
How long was that phone call?
अब ये मुझे एग्जैक्टली नहीं पता, वो लगभग 4-5 मिनट ज़्यादा।
क्या बात हुई उनकी अपनी मदर से?
वही बता रही थी कि मेरे को यहाँ चलेगा नहीं, ऐसा उसने मतलब इंडिकेट किया कि यहाँ नहीं चलेगा, एंड शी विल कम बैक। 15th की टिकट थी उसकी, तो 15 की टिकट्स को लेकर के बोल रही थी कि 15 की टिकट है, या तो बोले आप आ जाओ या वो आ जाएगी, ऐसा उसने इंडिकेशन दिया था। ऐसा कोई घबराने का साइन नहीं दिया था उसने।
सुसाइड वाली बात?
हाँ, कोई ऐसी बात नहीं लग रही थी।
नहीं लग रही
थी। दिन में तो बहुत नॉर्मल।
फिर क्या हुआ? आफ्टर एट व्हाट टाइम इज हर डेथ रिकॉर्डेड?
क्योंकि वही लास्ट जो कॉल हुई, तो उसमें पीछे से जो एकदम जब कॉल ड्रॉप हुआ ना, बात करते करते कॉल ड्रॉप हुआ, और पीछे से आवाज़ आई इनको इनकी मम्मी को लगा कि वो समर्थ की आवाज़ थी।
अच्छा।
ऐसा फील हुआ उनको कि समर्थ की आवाज़ थी, और उसमें वो पूछ रहा था किससे बात कर रही है, और उसके बाद वो फ़ोन ड्रॉप हो गया है। दैट इज़ द लास्ट थिंग। तो ये घबरा गई है कि फ़ोन ड्रॉप कैसे हो गया। वापस से कॉल कर रही है तो वो कॉल उठा नहीं रही है, फ़ोन उठा नहीं रही है। तो समर्थ को कॉल किया, गिरी बालाजी को कॉल किया, उन्होंने भी नहीं उठाया। काफ़ी देर बाद जाके फ़ोन उठाया तो बोलती जाके देखती हूँ मैं, और उसके कुछ समय पश्चात जब कॉल आया तो
कितने बजे कॉल आया?
अब एग्जैक्टली तो मुझे नहीं पता है, पर ये एक तकरीबन 20-25 मिनट का गैप रहा होगा।
So viewers, if you listen to this, Harshit, can you unmute yourself? Again, are you muted again? Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, you are saying something, please.
Sir, we tried calling them again and again. We were all sitting in the same room, so everybody was calling frantically at that point. After the third or the fourth call, they picked up one time at around 10:17, 10:15, wherein she just said that to my wife, she said there is no pulse and she is not breathing.
Who
So
said
everybody
this to
got very
you?
panicky.
Who said this to you?
Giribala said this to my wife.
Keep those 3 windows on, please. Thank you. Avoid that. Yeah. Giribala said this to your wife.
Yes. And after that, the next call which she picked up, she just said she's no more. She's not breathing, she's no more. And post that, the first call which she made from her end was at 10:56. Because I was just going through the logs today just to make a timeline. So I'm very thorough with the timings here. 10:56 was the first call that she made from her end to tell us any inputs.
Okay. So I'm going to take a small break at this point because though my PCR has not told me, I think I need to go to a break. I will just say one thing to you. To all the people watching my program who are calling me tonight saying you're defying the Supreme Court, I am not defying the Supreme Court. If letting the victim's family speak about what happened that day is defying the Supreme Court, then I'm sorry, so be it. Republic is an independent news network, the largest in the country. We are doing our service. To Major Harshit and to Navnidhi ji, I want you to stay because people of this country want to talk to you, Major. They want to connect with you, Navnidhi ji. And we are with you. So I'll take a small break. Then we'll come back. We'll take this discussion forward. Harshit, sir, we'll take a small break. After that, the truth about what the narrative is and what it isn't.
जब अपना कोई मूव किसी को मूव करता है ना यार, फील आ जाती है। भाई तू अपना है, तेरा सफर मुझे भी करना है। तूने प्रूव कर दिखाया यार, एनीबडी कैन ड्रीम। मुझे लगा मैं नहीं, पूरा का पूरा मूवमेंट चल रहा है। Breathable fabrics, awesome comfort, effortless style, AD from the house of Arvind.
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
Character, the taste of success.
I want to start with some very disturbing pictures that have come in of a so-called right.
जब अपना कोई मूव किसी को मूव करता है ना यार, फील आ जाती है। भाई तू अपना है, तेरा सफर मुझे भी करना है। तूने प्रूव कर दिखाया यार, एनीबडी कैन ड्रीम। मुझे लगा मैं नहीं, पूरा का पूरा मूवमेंट चल रहा है। Breathable fabrics, awesome comfort, effortless style, AD from the house of Arvind.
Join International Institute of Hotel Management. Call 983-1050,000.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Twisha Sarma. Who does?
CBI says Giribala misused liberty. 7 injuries before she was found dead. Giribala's sister oversaw autopsy. Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Presented by Amity University, ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, growing legacies since 1820. TVS iQube, India's favorite family EV.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the greatest of respect, I completely disagree with the positions being taken by the Honorable Chief Justice of India. So far, in this case of Twisha Sharma, in the suo motu hearing day before yesterday, the Honorable Chief Justice of India said that he feels deep pain and concern over the narrative that the judiciary was attempting to shield the accused. And that is where the Honorable Chief Justice, unfortunately, in my view, is wrong. Instead of focusing almost entirely on the so-called narrative against the judiciary, the Honorable Chief Justice should be extremely concerned at the misuse of influence by an ex-judge. And there should have been, in my view, a stronger attempt by the Honorable Chief Justice to talk about the facts that have been exposed in this case by the media. The fourth pillar of democracy. And to the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Surya Kantji, I would say, these are facts, not narrative. The CBI says just one chat is considered, the rest have been ignored while granting bail. The fact is, ladies and gentlemen, that Giribala wildly circulated her own narrative with interviews. The fact is, ladies and gentlemen, that Giribala misused liberty given via anticipatory bail. The fact is, ladies and gentlemen, that the CBI says Giribala received notices but is not cooperating. The fact is, ladies and gentlemen, that there were multiple injuries on Twisha's body, on her head, her fingerprints have been recovered. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a possibility of Twisha being hit on the head, which cannot be ruled out. And while all these facts are being brought out, it is unfortunate that the fundamental focus of the Chief Justice of India, Justice Surya Kant, was the narrative against the judiciary. No, sir. We are not interested in creating a narrative against the judiciary, Honorable Chief Justice. We are extremely concerned about the fact that there was obvious influence used on the investigation. We are concerned, and so should you be, Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice Surya Kantji, that 40 plus calls were made to judges, senior police officers, and even CCTV technicians post what possibly could be a murder. Ladies and gentlemen, this is influencing of witnesses, and the Honorable Chief Justice of India should be more concerned about the compromise of the crime scene, about the fact that an ex-judge was allowed to almost seal the crime scene, about possible police collusion and FIR delay. Ladies and gentlemen, the FIR is only registered on the 15th of May, and there is action only after the media creates a hue and cry. And in the meanwhile, the ex-judge gets anticipatory bail on 15th May 2026, within hours of the FIR registration before the investigation has started. In fact, she files the FIR, she files the bail plea even before the police register the FIR. So should we remain quiet? Should we not report all these things, thinking that if we do, we will be accused of the misuse of our position as media persons? No, ladies and gentlemen, no. If anyone uses their judicial background as an advantage, we will question it. And let me say this. This lady Giribala was allowed to manipulate the crime scene, which according to Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, section 238, is against the law. If she had not been a judge, and I repeat this tonight, I want the people of the country to tell me, And even if I were to come face to face with the Chief Justice of India, I would say this. If she had not been a judge, would she have been free? If she had not been a judge, would the entire system have come to manipulate and use procedural loopholes to help her? And my dear viewers, I have brought the father of Twisha to my studio. This is not about the family of Twisha versus a retired judge. No. This is about the fact that people of this country are watching what the judiciary does. And I feel somewhere there's a sense of discomfort among the judiciary that they are under public watch. But what's wrong with that? Should the judiciary of this country not be under the watch of the people of India? Should the people of India keep their eyes closed? Ladies and gentlemen, if Giribala's legal position and influence has been misused, we will fight it. And I'm saying tonight she should be arrested. She has got pre-FIR anticipatory bail. By seeking to quash the bail than merely cancel it, the executive is contesting a judicial order. And it is therefore making the point that the judiciary failed. And I underline the point tonight, however uncomfortable some people may be. And I'm saying this tonight. I don't mind being accused of setting a narrative. I've said many such narratives in the past, if these are narratives. But we will not be silenced here. We will not be browbeaten. The direct charge is that the judiciary failed in its duty of impartial adjudication in a case involving a former judge. It's like saying that the police failed to investigate charges against a former police commissioner. And if we fought Parambir Singh, we will fight Giribala as well. If there has been manipulation of procedure, it will be questioned. And I don't care. I absolutely do not care whether anybody in the judiciary is uncomfortable about it. And we are ready to face the consequences for that. We are ready to face the consequences of fighting for the truth.
Our request to you, whatever statement you want to depose, you please make before the prescribed authority, that is the investigating agency. That your statement recorded. Our request to, we will, of course, we can't do anything, but we can only request media also, please don't go for recording statements of the victim's family or reducing their pain into sound bites, please. That's not the way anybody should do it.
With every passing hour, the facts are becoming clearer.
That they have created a human chain. The police has created human chain for some reason right outside their house. They're condoning of this exact, you can see the visuals right now. Please, I'll request my VJ to show you the visuals. They have created, there are around 15 police people who have created a human chain outside her gate.
More details are being disclosed in Twisha's death case. 7 anti-mortem injuries are in focus.
Twisha Sharma had injuries on her body, 7 injuries on her body. She had them on her elbow, her wrist and also her scalp. When did they come? This was not post-mortem, this was anti-mortem, which means it was before her death. Who is the person who could possibly have tortured Twisha Sharma, hit her before her death, has to now be seen.
He mentioned the anti-mortem injuries. In fact, he said that there are 7 injuries on Twisha Sharma's body, and these are not post-mortem but anti-mortem injuries and cannot be caused after her death. And this is again a very, very big development, because the state of Madhya Pradesh itself mentioning that Twisha Sharma's body had 7 injury marks, and these were not post-mortem but anti-mortem injuries, and this needs to be investigated.
Today's court hearing has opened a whole new side of this case. The CBI doubts the presence of ex-judge Giribala's sister-in-law during the autopsy.
Giribala's sister was present during the first post-mortem. This nexus needs to be established if the first post-mortem was influenced. That's the big news that's coming in right now, and we're breaking this. The CBI wants judicial custody, and the reason they want judicial custody is also crystal clear. The nexus that Republic TV was questioning is also being questioned by the CBI. They say allegations have surfaced that Giribala's sister was present during the first post-mortem.
In fact, the court has raised questions on Giribala trying to manipulate the case. Twisha's family, the state government in Madhya Pradesh, and now CBI. Can everyone be wrong?
Now, viewers, we have Twisha's father and Twisha's brother with us. I also want to introduce our panel. Yogita Bhayana, Swapnil Kothari, Anurag Srivastav, Twisha's lawyer, Nirmal Kaurji, former IPS officer, Jayanand Dehadrai, Advocate Susi Ben Shah, and Raman Malik, who's pro-BJP in this case now. I'm continuing, and by the way, calls are open. You were just about to say something about, what your sister went through, Major Harshit, before I interrupted just before the break. So you can continue, and then I'll open this up. Yes, please. Arrest Giribala is my hashtag tonight, please. Yeah.
Sir, all I actually want to say is the very things that we were trying to bring out, which were initially alleged assumptions and narratives, are turning out to be facts now. And this is what we've been telling from the very beginning. And now they're coming up, and people are actually acknowledging that these are facts and not just narratives.
Can you speak about some of those facts which have now come out, say in the last 24 hours?
All those alleged allegations, the facts that we were trying to put up and were termed as allegations from our end, from the very beginning. Say, for example, the doctor who was there, the IPS officer who was there, the fact that the FIR was delayed, the fact that the PM report was dubious, the fact that there were so many findings which were not given in the initial investigation, the fact that the room was never sealed, the fact that they were allowed to move around freely in their own house, which is the scene of incident. There are so many facts like that, and possibly that is the reason the Solicitor General himself said that the institution is on trial today.
So the Solicitor General said the institution is on trial. Was he referring to the institution of the judiciary?
Of course. They are the ones who have been influencing it all throughout. The fact that these people are connected with them and they choose to utilize their authority, utilize their chair in means and ways to disrupt the very thing that they stand for. Righteousness, justice. They are denying each bit of it to the ones seeking it.
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday the Chief Justice of India said to the family of Twisha they should not talk. And today, yesterday they had a protest appearance, but it is impossible to tell the family to be censored. And if the Chief Justice of India is watching, I think it is impossible to censor the family of a victim. And as a responsible media organization, we won't. And Major Harshit, you will not be censored. And Navdini Sharmaji, you will not be gagged. For if you are gagged, Harshit, and your father is censored, then there will be no justice in this country. You are fully aware of what the Chief Justice has said and warned you against, but you are still coming on air with me, and I am bringing you on air as well. May I ask you, I know as a media person I am bringing you on air, why I am doing that? Despite what the Chief Justice has said and warned. Why are you on air, Major Harshit? You are a serving army officer. Why are you on air?
You've been our eyes and ears all through this journey. The perilous journey that we had, my family had to undertake by force. The fact that we have reached where we wanted to, that is for the case to be heard in Supreme Court for at least once. right after we got there, the first order that was passed was not about the institutional bias, but for removing the very power, the only power that we had.
Which is to speak.
Which is to speak.
Which is to speak. That is the only power a family of a victim has. Ladies and gentlemen, therefore, I shall share this with you. If you want to speak to members of the family, you can. My lines are open. Vardhan Khanna is calling from Delhi. Mr. Khanna, are you there? Okay, we'll patch him. It's not patched, I was just told. Okay. Jan Deradrai, Susiben Shah, Raman Malik, Nirmal Kaur, Anurag, Swapnil and Yogita Bhayana, the dam has burst. The truth is out. The people are saying they will not be gagged. Which means somewhere, Swapnil, there is a lot of anger that has begun to build up. And even if the judiciary is trying to protect one of its own, the people will then question the judiciary even more loudly, I feel. Swapnil.
Arnab, it's a very sad state of affairs that the judiciary today is being questioned, and I do not like it as being an officer of the court. And I know within your hearts, deep hearts, you are not liking it either, but you have to do it because truth is ultimately the goal that we need to pursue. And I remember the quotes of a great American judge, Justice Learned Hand, who said that if we want to preserve our democracy, we shall follow only one commandment: thou shalt not ration justice. And here justice, unfortunately, seems to have been selectively rationed. Had Trisha Sharma's family been extremely powerful and influential, the scenario would have been completely different. There would have been no anticipatory bail. There would have been no procedural discrepancies. The matter would not have even reached the Supreme Court for that matter. So, Arnab, the assertions today made by the advocates for the family have been very clear that Giribala misused her liberty. She completely tried to tamper the evidence, and funnily, the entire scene of crime has been left open for abuse, for potential tampering, to try to put any evidence that could, go against Trisha also.
You can take pictures, you can make better windows, take it off.
And I think we will have sufficient material to nail the accused in this sense. And hopefully, I think tomorrow the judgment, after 3 hours of long protracted hearing today, which was very necessary, given the facts and circumstances, I think justice would be met and her bail should be cancelled, because it was given, as pointed out by the CBI, as pointed out by the ASG, as pointed out by Trisha's lawyers, by Siddharth Luthra, that this entire narrative of Giribala coming out and talking about her own CDRs, making 40 phone calls, etc., was absolutely to try to influence the proceedings and tamper with, it is called interference with justice. It's as simple as that. So the bail was premature and it must be cancelled so that appropriate procedure, she may take bail afterwards, but she has to be taken into judicial custody.
No, what has happened here is that this has happened on the heels of the Justice Yashwant Verma case. And the feeling has been, Yogita, that when it comes to judges, they get a quote-unquote honorable exit. Why should a person who does a dishonorable thing get an honorable exit? It has become very important to arrest Giribala, for the people of this country to see this judge in lockup this time. Unlike in the case of Justice Yashwant, who was given an honorable exit, this lady does not deserve an honorable exit at all. This is not some bloodthirsty cry. This is not a kangaroo court. This is on the basis of facts that are there before us. Yogita, the importance of arresting this judge, your thoughts. She has to be in lockup. She has to be in police custody with common criminals.
All the more.
Yes.
All the more reason it will restore our faith in judicial system. Otherwise, we have actually lost all our hopes, and where they are supposed to be protecting the law, protecting the people. If they are indulged, it is definitely a solidarity. They are showing solidarity towards each other and trying to protect her. Let's face it. And I don't have any high hopes from judiciary, because we have seen enough, and we should not. We should call it as it is. It is definitely hands and gloves with it. So we really need to see one example. They need to show that they have to restore the faith in common man, common women of the country, that we are with you. We are not with each other.
They have to stop scratching each other's back. They have to stop protecting each other.
And
if she is involved, all the more reasons they need to do a fair justice so that we have, our faith intact. Otherwise, what will I tell a common girl who's like, raped every now and then we keep getting cases? How will I tell when they see this kind of a
this woman?
They are telling me. I'm telling you. I have dealt with few cases. They are saying what happened to that judge.
This woman Navnidhi
they cannot be doing
is
that.
a very cold-hearted type of person. At 10:10 is the last phone call with your wife.
Yeah, around 10:05.
Around 10:05, 5 minutes past 10 on the 12th.
Yeah.
And at about 10:40, she calls and says your daughter is dead.
Yeah.
After 34 minutes.
30 odd minutes.
What does she say? Exactly बताइए क्या बोला था उन्होंने?
She is not breathing. She is not no more. She
is not breathing. Did she give you a reason why she was no more? हुआ क्या था? उसने कुछ कहा?
No, not to my knowledge, because I heard only these two words.
She is not breathing.
She is not breathing. She is no more. I heard these two words. Later on,
she told your wife.
Not wife, but Harshit's wife.
Harshit's wife.
Harshit engaged in the conversation.
Harshit, tell me about that. What this Giribala told your wife, and everybody is listening to you tonight. Tell me the exact conversation so that people understand the mentality of this judge. Can you unmute yourself, please? Thank you. Harshit. Harshit, again you're muted. Thank you. Yeah. I can't hear you again. I can't hear you again. There's a problem with the audio there. It's a very important moment. We have to fix the audio out there. He's going to log in and log out again, but this is a terrible person. There's a dangerous woman, Nirmal Kaur. She calls Nirmal Kaur ji, former IPS officer joining us from Chennai. She calls her daughter-in-law's sister-in-law, and says that she's dead. And she does not give any explanation. As if she does not owe any explanation at all. Can you unmute yourself, ma'am, please?